are major changes coming to U.S. immigration in 2025. As we all know, Donald Trump has returned to power. Millions of people from across Asia could be directly impacted. In this video, we uncover the shocking truth about which Asian countries may be banned under new immigration policies. From rising visa restrictions to full travel bans, these changes could affect students, families, workers, and tourists alike. Stay with us as we reveal the names of 5 countries that are expected to face the toughest rules, and why the United States is targeting them. This isn't just political news, it's a global shift that could change countless lives. Let's begin. Number 5. Iraq. Iraq has often walked a fine line in U.S. immigration policy, sometimes included in bans, sometimes spared due to political considerations. In 2017, Iraq was briefly placed under Trump's travel ban but later removed after U.S. military and diplomatic pressure. However, that could change in 2025 if Trump returns with even stricter enforcement. Iraq continues to face internal instability, terrorism risks, and challenges in law enforcement. These issues make it a likely candidate for renewed visa restrictions. U.S. officials may claim that proper vetting remains difficult due to Iraq's limited record-keeping and widespread corruption. As a result, Iraqi applicants may find it harder to obtain student, work, or family-based visas. Even those with sponsorship or job offers might face unexplained rejections. Iraqi-American families could suffer from prolonged delays in bringing loved ones to the U.S. Students hoping to study abroad may abandon their goals or shift toward more accessible countries. Iraqi interpreters and contractors who helped U.S. forces during the war could feel betrayed if denied entry. This could damage America's credibility in future military alliances and humanitarian efforts. Tensions may also rise if Iraq views these moves as politically insulting or unjust. Cultural and academic exchanges between the two nations could decline significantly. Professionals like doctors, IT experts, and engineers may lose job prospects in the U.S. Anti-American sentiment could grow among Iraq's youth, reducing diplomatic goodwill. Iraqi citizens already in the U.S. may experience more surveillance or legal scrutiny. Activist groups may label such policies as racially or religiously discriminatory. Legal challenges are possible, but results may vary depending on court rulings. Iraq's own visa rules for Americans could become stricter in response. These immigration changes would likely affect families, students, professionals, and vulnerable groups alike. The outcome could be long-term alienation between the two countries. What's framed as policy protection may actually fuel resentment and deepen global divides. For ordinary Iraqis, the American dream could quickly fade into impossibility. Number 4. Syria. Syria has been a major concern for U.S. immigration policy for over a decade, primarily due to its ongoing civil war and the rise of extremist groups within its borders. During Trump's presidency, Syrian citizens were included in the original travel ban list, and if he returns in 2025, these restrictions are almost certain to be reinstated. The U.S. may argue that Syria remains too unstable to conduct reliable security checks or background screenings. As a result, all types of visa applications, from students to refugees to tourists, could be suspended or heavily delayed. The civil conflict has made documentation and verification extremely difficult for Syrian applicants. Families fleeing war zones or applying for asylum in the U.S. may face immediate denial under new rules. Syrians who have already resettled in the U.S. might be unable to bring their relatives, leading to emotional and long-term separation. Students hoping to pursue higher education in the U.S. could see their admissions cancelled. Professionals such as doctors, engineers, or scholars might be turned away, regardless of their qualifications. Even humanitarian parole, typically used for urgent cases, may become extremely rare. Trump's administration previously claimed that such measures are essential for national security, despite criticism from human rights advocates. Critics argue that a full ban on Syrians punishes victims of war rather than addressing actual threats. These policies could isolate Syria even further from the global community. U.S. Syria diplomatic ties, already minimal, would become practically non-existent. Aid agencies might also face barriers in sending staff or receiving Syrian partners. Syrians currently living legally in the U.S. may experience rising anxiety and fear of future policy shifts. The younger generation of Syrians may grow up with increased distrust toward Western governments. Overall, these immigration rules would devastate countless families and deny opportunities to those who need them most. What is seen by some as national protection could be viewed by others as inhumane exclusion. Syria's future would be left even more uncertain. Number 3. Iran. Iran has long had a complicated and tense relationship with the United States, marked by sanctions, nuclear disputes, and proxy conflicts in the Middle East. Under Trump's 2017 travel ban, Iran was among the original countries completely barred from entering the U.S. If he wins again in 2025, that policy could be reinstated or expanded. Iranian citizens may find themselves fully excluded from obtaining tourist, student, or business visas. The U.S. may argue that Iran presents a continued threat to national security and stability. Tensions over Iran's nuclear program and its alliances with anti-American groups fuel that narrative. Students admitted to American universities from Iran might see their visas revoked or denied. Families separated by past restrictions could again face indefinite delays or denials. Dual nationals might be forced to choose between their Iranian identity and U.S. travel privileges. Iranian professionals, such as doctors and engineers, could lose valuable job opportunities. Visa holders already in the U.S. may feel vulnerable to deportation or reapplication hurdles. Even legal permanent residents of Iranian origin may face longer background checks or suspicious treatment. Humanitarian visas could be extremely rare under a Trump administration. Only exceptions such as urgent medical needs or diplomatic emergencies may allow travel. Advocacy groups and civil liberties organizations may take legal action to fight such bans. Iranians in the U.S. might suffer increased profiling, discrimination, and surveillance. Cultural and academic exchange programs between the two nations would likely suffer or end. Iran's government could retaliate with bans on American citizens or businesses. Political analysts warn that renewed bans may harden anti-U.S. sentiment in Iranian youth. These restrictions might also influence global public opinion against American immigration policy. Diplomatic channels between Tehran and Washington would remain cold or completely frozen. In effect, such immigration rules would push both countries further apart. For ordinary Iranians, dreams of studying, working, or reuniting with family in America may vanish entirely. Number 2. Afghanistan. Afghanistan has become a center of geopolitical instability, especially after the Taliban regained control in 2021. In response, many Western countries, including the U.S., began reassessing their immigration strategies involving Afghan nationals. The U.S. had previously opened humanitarian pathways for Afghan refugees, but these may close under stricter Republican leadership. If Trump returns in 2025, it is likely that Afghan immigration will be halted or significantly limited. Many Afghans fleeing violence or seeking safety could be blocked from entering the U.S. The justification would likely revolve around national security, vetting difficulties, and lack of centralized governance in Afghanistan. Refugees, even those who assisted U.S. forces during war, could face deportation threats or denial of entry. Family reunification programs might be frozen, impacting those who left loved ones behind. Afghan students currently in the U.S. may encounter uncertainty regarding visa renewals or work authorization. The United States may also limit future student admissions from Afghanistan entirely. Such measures could create humanitarian crises for displaced Afghan families and children. Human rights organizations would likely condemn these bans as unjust and morally irresponsible. The U.S. government may claim it cannot adequately screen applicants from Taliban-controlled areas. Diplomatic relations between the two nations would remain strained and complex. Afghan nationals working with NGOs or international bodies may also face travel restrictions. These policies could also silence the hopes of women and activists escaping oppression. U.S. credibility in protecting vulnerable allies might be questioned globally. Many Afghans may instead seek refuge in European or South Asian countries. The immigration clampdown could also slow Afghanistan's path to post-conflict rebuilding. The human cost would be enormous, especially for those already in the resettlement pipeline. For many Afghans, the U.S. may no longer represent a land of hope. Number 1. Pakistan. Pakistan has remained a focal point of U.S. immigration discussions due to concerns involving national security, visa overstays, and terrorism-related monitoring. The Trump administration in the past considered imposing stricter rules for Pakistani citizens, especially following patterns of suspected extremist links and weak vetting systems. In 2025, if Trump or a similar hardline administration returns, Pakistan might face new immigration policies that could restrict travel and visa approvals. Pakistani students seeking education in the U.S. may face delays, denials, or heightened scrutiny in the visa process. Tourist and business visa holders could also experience increased rejection rates. Family reunification applications may be subject to longer investigations and possible refusal. With Trump's America First doctrine potentially revived, countries like Pakistan may be deemed high risk due to ideological or political concerns. Even green card applicants from Pakistan might find themselves under lengthy background checks. These policy shifts would also impact Pakistani Americans who may want to bring family members to the U.S. The public response to such actions is likely to be polarized. Supporters may claim national security as justification, while critics may call it discriminatory. U.S.-Pakistan relations, already fragile, could further deteriorate. Such bans would likely trigger protests and strong reactions from human rights groups. Pakistan's government may view these restrictions as unfair or politically motivated. This could result in diplomatic tension or retaliation, including visa restrictions for American citizens. The Pakistani diaspora in the U.S. may feel isolated and targeted. Students, doctors, and professionals may seek alternative destinations like Canada, Australia, or the UK. The long-term impact on education exchange programs could be serious. Pakistan may see a decrease in youth applying for American universities. Trust between the nations could weaken as mobility becomes limited. Ultimately, the consequences of such immigration rules would affect not just borders, but also cultural, academic, and personal bridges. I hope you liked this meaningful video. Take care. Goodbye.